The United States, India, and the world at large mourns the 9/11 attack victims. On September 11th in 2001, 19 terrorists hijacked 4 airlines and hit the Twin Towers and Pentagon, leaving 2,996 dead and mass destruction. 9/11 Inquiry Commission report revealed how the Islamist extremist group Al-Qaeda carried out the series of coordinated terrorist attacks against the United States on Black Tuesday. The September 11 attacks could have been averted if the United States agencies closely followed the leads and cooperated in India's IC-814 Hijack 99 investigations. My exclusive investigations, particularly done up to 2014, revealed many startling facts pertaining to 9/11 attacks. They originally published the report in 2014, but if it is the investigative story that is more relevant in present context, especially for Americans for whom pivot to Indo-Pacific strategy is crucial to contain its adversaries. Before I begin, may I request you not to skip, otherwise you may miss the pith and substance. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello and welcome. My name is Shailesh Kumar and you're watching National Defense. Before we dwell into the investigative part of this live session, first have the sequence of events. Sequence of events is very important. On 11th September 2001 at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time, American Airlines Flight 11 crashes into the North Tower of the World Trade Center, New York. At 9:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower of the WTC. And at 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 crashes into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower collapses. At 10:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 93 crashes in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, after passenger flight hijackers. At 10:28 a.m., the North Tower collapses. The attack resulted in the death of 2,977 victims, including 41 Indians and excluding 19 hijackers. Over 6,000 people of 90 different nationalities were injured. Collapse of both WTC towers destroyed Lower Manhattan financial hub. Damage to Pentagon military headquarters was unprecedented. The 9/11 attack resulted in estimated economic loss of $100 billion. That is a big sum. So now, this is very important to understand. To look in this story in current perspective, it is important to understand that the 2014 meeting of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the United States, the then President Barack Obama, was a watershed moment in both countries' relations. Both leaders released a joint vision statement titled "Chale Saath Saath, Forward Together We Go," promising strategic partnership between the two nations. Strategic partnership. Watershed movement, that was the watershed movement. While the vision document promised to combat terrorist threats and to keep homelands and citizens safe from terrorist attacks, it is likely to translate into some concrete agreement when Modi and Obama met again on 30th September. That happened. In this backdrop, it is pertinent to look as how America forgotten its own enemy, which has proliferated over the years and also attacked India multiple times, given American apathy towards Indian strategic interest of the then government, the then administration, in combating terrorism. While this common enemy in Pakistan and Afghanistan still haunts India, it also exposes the then American administration for poor cooperation with its strategic ally in combating terrorism. The terrorists behind the hijack of Indian Airlines flight IC-814 plagued both India and the United States for long. The same terrorists who were released by India in lieu of safe release of passengers and crew of Indian Airlines flight IC-814 plotted the 9/11 attack on American soil and later on Indian Parliament in December 2003 and subsequently began terror operations across India, particularly Fidaian attacks in the valley. And the list goes on and on. In fact, had America timely and seriously investigated the complaint of its own citizen, Miss Jean Murray, who was also on board hijacked plane IC-814, many attacks, including possibly 9/11 attack, could have been averted. In the aftermath of IC-814 hijack, India had gathered substantial inputs indicating the role of ISI and the Al-Qaeda. All 5 hijackers of IC-814 and released 3 terrorists, Maulana Masood Azhar, Ahmad Umar Saeed Sheikh, and Mohammad Jargar, were still at large for many years. What happened to them? We will discuss about it also. Maulana Masood founded Jaish-e-Mohammed in January 2000 in Karachi soon after his release by India. Maulana Masood Azhar's link with Osama bin Laden has long been established by agencies since as early as in 1993, when Masood Azhar, on instruction of Osama bin Laden, traveled to Nairobi, Kenya, to help Al-Ittihad Al-Islamiyah, the Somali Islamic radical organization, for execution of US soldiers. Perhaps Osama bin Laden owed a lot to Maulana Masood Azhar. Besides, the cause of jihad was also suffering because of his absence, because of Maulana's absence, who was lost in Indian jail since 1994. Yusuf Azhar, brother of Maulana Masood Azhar. Let me show you some slides. In fact, I have this video, in fact, in case if I can play it. Okay. So, anyways, this I'm not able to play it at the moment, but I think let me add this video, and in fact I can tell you about this. This is going to be very important. Okay, so let me see in case if we can play this. Anyways, so Azhar wanted his early release, and so has the Al-Qaeda. A few months after the release by India on 31st December 1999, in lieu of IC-814 passengers, Maulana Masood Azhar, along with Maulana Yusuf Ludhianvi and Maulana Jamil Ahmad, met Indian chief Maulana Umar and Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden in early May 2000. They reportedly sought, let me just play this. I think I have this, so it should be played. Okay, unfortunately it is not being played. Somehow there's some issue. Otherwise this would have been much better. So anyways, leave it. It is not working at the moment. So what I mean to say that they reportedly sought Taliban and Al-Qaeda's continued support for jihad in Kashmir Valley. Maulana Yusuf Ludhianvi, however, was mysteriously killed soon after this particular meeting. Incidentally, before Azhar's release from June 1999 onwards, Osama bin Laden along with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was plotting to attack US using airplanes. After the release of Maulana Masood Azhar, Omar Shahid Sheikh and Mushtaq Ahmad Zargar, Osama's dream of attacking United States came closer to realization. Pakistan's ISI was in loop for any logistics support. Pakistan's ISI. Key member of Jaish-e-Mohammed and close associate of Maulana Masood Azhar, who was released by India, Ahmad Umar Shahid Sheikh, was reportedly tapped by Pakistan's inter-service intelligence agency, the ISI, to support attack on United States. Umar Shahid Sheikh was a British national who was lodged in jail on charges of plotting kidnapping of foreigners in India, the Daniel Pearl for killing later on, for securing release of terrorists from Indian jails. Umar Shahid Sheikh, soon after his release, had started functioning as money manager of Osama bin Laden. In fact, Umar Shahid Sheikh reportedly was also direct in touch with the then ISI chief, Lieutenant General Mahmoud Ahmad. Umar Shahid Sheikh, between June and September 2000, transferred over 1 lakh US dollar from Pakistan to Mohammad Atta, the lead hijacker of the Hamburg cell who executed the suicidal 9/11 attacks on America. The money wired from an account in Dubai using various aliases. However, Umar Shahid Sheikh during this time was spotted in Islamabad from where the transfer was executed. The money was used by Mohammad Atta, an Egyptian, in flight school training fee, their airfare, food and other logistics of the 9/11 hijackers. Umar Shahid Sheikh also collected remaining unspent 25,000 US dollar from Mohammad Atta and other Hamburg cell terrorists just before the 9/11 attack. The money was reportedly transferred at the behest of Lieutenant General Mahmoud Ahmad, who was repeatedly called by Umar Shahid Sheikh during the summer of year 2000. He was the then ISI chief. What happened? India later had provided available evidence to the American investigative agency, but to no avail. If FBI investigated the IC-814 hijacking seriously and expeditiously, it was likely that the United States could have gathered significant intelligence inputs which could have helped in preventing 9/11 terror attack. IC-814 hijack was a pre-run because the same Mohammad Atta met Osama bin Laden just before and during the IC-814 hijack incident. The timing of meeting of Mohammad Atta and other Hamburg cell terrorists with Al-Qaeda chief Osama bin Laden were significant. The IC-814 hijack conspiracy was hatched in Karachi in June 1999 after failed attempt to get Maulana Masood Azhar released from jail. This was also the time when Osama bin Laden along with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was plotting to attack United States using aeroplanes. In their search of suitable hijackers, Osama bin Laden stumbled upon Mohammad Atta and other operatives of Hamburg cell. On November 29, Atta reached Karachi via Istanbul in a Turkish airline hopping flight. Turkish Airlines hopping flight, remember. When they went to bin Laden's home in Kandahar, Osama bin Laden asked them to pledge loyalty and commit to Fidaian mission. After that, Mohammad Atta spent some time in Karachi. Agencies have yet to confirm if Mohammad Atta met Yusuf Azhar, the brother of Maulana Masood Azhar. What happened to Yusuf Azhar, we will tell about that later on, as he along with Abdul Rauf plotted the hijack of IC-814 in Karachi itself. However, I don't doubt the meeting actually took place. Had FBI tracked the trail of released terrorists and hijackers of Indian Airlines plane, it was very much likely to bust the money trail leading to the 9/11 attack. It is very much likely that Mohammad Atta could have been part of the command and control center overseeing the hijacking of IC-814 as he was in Pakistan and Afghanistan in December 1999 and January 2000. This is very startling revelation. Not only that, modus operandi of 9/11 attack was later found to be similar to that of IC-814 hijack. Let me bring this again. Okay. So I'm trying to get you some visuals, but unfortunately some visuals are not appearing. So the hijackers used knife to take control of the flight and passengers. In both the cases, they attacked passengers with knife. Burger alias Sunny Ahmed Qazi attacked Rupin Katyal and Satnam Singh through knife only. Rupin Katyal later succumbed to injuries on board IC-814 the hijacked plane. On the same theme, on 11 September 2001, 5 of Al-Qaeda terrorists led by Mohammad Atta, armed with knives, hijacked American Airlines Flight 11. They attacked at least 2 flight attendants with knives slitting their throat and forced pilots to open the cockpit door mid-air. Mohammad Atta, flying the hijacked American Airlines Flight 11, crashed into the northern facade of the World Trade Center. Similarly, other terrorists operating in the group of 5 hijacked other jetliners. This third group was short of 1 man but hijacked plane wielding knives. Even the grouping was that calibrated. So there was a significant time gap between the hijack of IC-814 and 9/11 attack on America. In fact, on complaint of Gene Moore, US citizen who was on board hijacked IC-814 plane, FBI team had visited India multiple times. A team of FBI special agent Carl Vigulem and Peter H. Lee from Honolulu visited India 4 times from October 2000 to November 2001, at least 3 times prior to 9/11 attacks. Significantly, the conspiracy of IC-814 was busted by Mumbai police even before the India could have secured the release of passengers. So that is very important. Let me again try to use this in case if we can play this. So anyways, it's not playing, unfortunately. After the hijack, Mumbai police intelligence inputs that a mobile phone number, now this number may be different, it may be attributed to someone else, so I'm not going to release the full number, but I posted it earlier, 98201-109, rest 2 digit I'm not going to tell you because this number may be allotted to someone, but that point of time, this mobile number was in constant touch with some Pakistani number on 25th December 99. After monitoring the phone, information was verified. From another input, Mumbai police received information that accused wanted in bank dockery at Maharashtra Cooperative Bank were hiding in room number 2, Anwar Chaul, Sampainagar, Behram Bagh in Jogeshwari. On 30th December 1999, crime branch of Mumbai police raided where they found Abdul Latif and one Muhammad Rafiq and seized mobile phone number from which the calls were being made to Pakistan. Police recovered 2 AK-56 rifles, 2 loaded magazines, 4 anti-tank rifle grenades, 1 Gupti, 1 dagger, passport of Abdul Latif and passport of Yusuf Azhar, brother-in-law of Maulana Masood Azhar, in the fake name of Muhammad Shamil. Subsequent interrogation and raids on other hideouts unraveled the conspiracy behind IC-814 attack. All available information on IC-814 hijack linking Pakistan and suspected role of Taliban was provided to FBI. But that time, Bush administration was so blind with Pakistan. USA was not ready. Like what happened this time, Mr. Trump was so blindfolded with the Asim Munir that they did not take India seriously that point of time when Mr. Bush was there as the president. In subsequent year, post 9/11, FBI team visited India and India helped United States with all possible material and request for information from FBI. Robert S. Mueller, Director FBI, visited India on 22nd January 2002. He was also requested for FBI assistance in the cracking the full conspiracy and arrest of hijackers. A team consisting of Ralph Paul Horton, legal attaché, and his two colleagues, John Timothy and Alam Santos, both assistant legal attaché, visited CBI headquarters from June 2002 to August 2002. Another team consisting of Ron Yovan, special agent, and his two colleagues, Donald Miller and James Frezumer, visited India that point of time. You see, there have been visits and visits and visits. In January, that was last 2002 year later, Jennifer Snell and G. Besley of FBI visited twice in April 2004 and again in January 2005 in connection with IC-814 hijack investigations. So India has provided all help and evidence along with intelligence inputs, but FBI of USA failed to help India even when US forces invaded Afghanistan in 2001 in the aftermath of 9/11 attack. The United States forces detained many Taliban leaders who were in the know-how of IC-814 hijack plot and seized documents related to hijacking of IC-814 from a house in Kabul. India wanted access to these Taliban leaders for interrogation and access to records seized by US forces after the fall of Taliban government. But all in vain, all in vain. Nothing was done, nothing was done. You can imagine. So American agencies have also seized and taped the taped conversation between the control tower at Kandahar airport and the hijackers. However, only the content, not the voice, was shared with CBI. Maulana Masood Azhar, after establishing Jaish-e-Mohammed, went into killing spree. He formed Fidain or Suicide Squad that has created mayhem across the world. And for the first time, a new modus operandi began in India. Jaish-e-Mohammed Fidain attacked J&K Assembly in October 2001, killing 38 people, and Indian Parliament on 13 December 2001, in which 12 people were killed, including 5 Fidains. For Al-Qaeda, and particularly for Osama bin Laden, and Taliban's Mullah Umar Masood Azhar was a shot in the arms for jihad against India for liberation of Kashmir. Maulana Masood Azhar himself has confessed that his outfit carried out the killing of Indian army men within the first year of his release. The involvement of Jaish-e-Mohammed in many attacks later on is well known. Maulana Masood Azhar has been motivational preacher known for his own inflammatory speeches against India and America, and worked as uniting force for jihadis. In fact, Maulana Masood Azhar since September 1989 has been running Harkatul Mujahideen's monthly magazine, Sadai Mujahid. Now it may be banned. It may not have the direct cover. Under the direction of Maulana Fazlur Rahman, he was the Amir of Hizbul Mujahideen that point of time, who formed HUM after a split in Harkatul Jihad. The creation of another splinter group, Harkatul Jihad al-Islami, out of Harkatul Jihad had diluted the cause of jihad for Kashmir. Jihadi forces in Pakistan were concerned by this development. Jihad. So, in October, what happened later is very important. So, in November 1993, it was decided to merge HUJI and HUM, and thus was created a new group, Harkat-ul-Ansar. Maulana Masood Azhar was given responsibility to oversee and confirm the merger in Kashmir Valley. Even now, Jaish-e-Mohammed runs its newspaper, Jarb-e-Momin, which once became a mouthpiece. That is very important. Sadai Mujahid and Jarb-e-Momin are under publications and circulated widely with online presence to radicalize the Muslim youth. At least for many, many years, they have been the main platforms. But now, with a lot of restrictions, they may have diversified into other names. So on January 29th, I believe I am correct. So on 29 January 1994, Azhar reached New Delhi via Dhaka on a Portuguese passport. In early February, he met Sajid Afghani and then Commander-in-Chief of HUM and his Deputy Chief Commander Amjad Balal, who was from HUJI. Maulana Masood Azhar conveyed to both of them strictly that Amir of Harkatul-Ansar, Fazlur Rahman, want unified operations without any difference of opinion and work for the liberation of Kashmir. However, on 11th February, what happened? This is very interesting. On 11th February 1994, Maulana Masood Azhar along with Sajjad Afghani were arrested by army when their car developed a snag on way back to Srinagar from a militant hideout. Since then, Maulana Masood Azhar was kept in Jammu jail. Since then, there had been attempts to escape and forced release, which materialized when IC-814 was hijacked. It is not just the USA. CBI has issued letter rogatory to, but as recent as in 2014 August, and even in early of the September when Prime Minister Modi met Obama, CBI had again issued letter rogatories to Afghanistan and Pakistan government seeking crucial information. So, with regards to IC-814, they have been asking through letter rogatories that please provide us some information. They sent to Afghanistan verifying the facts on Kandahar airport and the trace and question the General Usmani, the then Taliban commander. General Usmani, the Taliban commander, used to come to Indian negotiation team which reached Kandahar to negotiate with the hijackers for the safe release of passengers and crew intermittently with Taliban Foreign Minister Muttawakil. A senior officer, Ghanshyam of Indian High Commissioner, who moved from Islamabad to Kandahar before the negotiation team, has kept minute-to-minute record of the Taliban and hijackers. Hijackers did not had much weapons before, but on 27 December 1999 morning, hijackers suddenly got huge catch of arms, including different types of hand grenades and walkie-talkies. When did they get these from? And from whom? CBI wanted to know from General Usmani and airport staff. Besides that, what happened to hijackers as and when they were allowed to carry weapons after their demands were met? Did Taliban keep a record of hijackers' trails? However, intelligence input clearly indicated, and even FBI was told, that the hijackers stayed back in Afghanistan, and in the evening, all including released terrorists had dinner with Osama bin Laden at his Kandahar home. Why did Taliban provided them vehicles before they vanished into Pakistan? Strangely, Indian government has not handed over IC-814 hijacking investigation to NIA for long time. The agency mandated with all terror cases. Due to non-cooperation from USA, there is still a void in the investigation, which has helped terror network thrive in the subcontinent. There are many questions which needs to be answered, more so by America, especially in the wake of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's US visit at that point of time. It was a 10-year-old story when I published in 2014. Why did the United States of America not cooperate with India in nipping terror in the bud? Why the hijackers are still at large despite huge presence of American forces in Afghanistan and even in Pakistan? Why the Pakistan is still a hub of vicious terror cycle? Why America failed to take stock of the fact that IC-814 hijack was possibly a pre-run for 9/11 attack by terrorists? Why is FBI shy of ISI when repeat requests were made from India? The cooperation between both the nations have become all the more important in the wake of Al-Qaeda's top leader Ayman al-Zawahiri calling for establishing Indian branch of Al-Qaeda named as Jamaat Qaidat al-Jihad, Fishbi al-Qarrat al-Hindiya, or Al-Qaeda in Indian subcontinent. Ayman al-Zawahiri also renewed a long-standing vow of loyalty to Afghan Taliban leader Mullah Omar. The threat of Al-Qaeda launching a major terror attack cannot be rolled out and cannot be wished away. Same way, the America needs cooperation of India in West Asia to deal with the menace of ISIS, and it got successful also under Trump administration, the first one. So it's a win-win situation for both the nations to reset their strategic partnership, forgetting the past and reminiscing the forgotten enemy. That was the content which I wrote in 2014. The Pakistani hijackers still at large. The chief hijacker, Ibrahim Athar, he was the chief hijacker. And unfortunately, the footage is not running. I've got all the footage here, but this is absolutely, yeah. You can see here on the top of it, the names will appear. The Ibrahim Athar, alias Ahmad Ali Muhammad Sheikh, alias Javed Ahmad Siddiqui, alias AA Sheikh, resident of 6B 1260/108 Kaushar Colony, Model Town, Bahawalpur, Pakistan, and post box number 7181, Sadar, Karachi, house number 241, Gulshan Iqbal, plot number 2, Karachi, and flat number 4, Daddy Mansion, Sadar, Regal Chowk, Karachi, Pakistan. That is his address. And then Burger alias Sunny Ahmad Qazi, alias Burger, alias Sunny Ahmad Qazi, alias A. Saeed, alias Moti, alias Khalid. He was the resident of Gulshan Iqbal area in Karachi, Pakistan. The third hijacker, Dr. alias Shahid Saeed Akhtar, or Dr. alias Shahid Saeed Akhtar, Saeed Moti alias Khalid, resident of Gulshan Iqbal area in Karachi, Pakistan. And then comes the Bhola alias Jahur Ibrahim Mistri. And the report says that he has been killed in Pakistan, in Karachi, by unknown assailants. Bhola and Jahur Ibrahim Mistri, alias Z.I. Mistri, son of Ibrahim Yunus Mistri, he was resident of Akhtar Colony. All the areas, all the addresses are of Pakistan only. So he was living in near defense area, Karachi in Pakistan. And then Zahur Ibrahim Mistri, who was living in assumed name Zahid Akhund in Akhtar Colony area, where he was shot dead on March 1st, 2022, 3 years back, in Karachi in his furniture store named Crescent Furniture. The attack was carried out by 2 bike-borne gunmen, assailants. He was shot twice in the head at point blank range. And then comes another hijacker, Shankar alias Shakir alias Shankar alias Shakir alias Rajesh Gopal Verma alias RG Verma alias Farooq Abdul Aziz Siddiqui, son of Abdul Aziz Siddiqui, resident of Sukur, Sindh, Pakistan. And then comes the Pakistani conspirator Abdul Rauf, who was killed in Operation Sindoor on May 7th this year itself in the Indian Air Force's surgical precision strikes. During Operation Sindoor, one of the main targets was Jaish-e-Mohammed's headquarters in Bahawalpur, Pakistan. This is believed to be where Rauf Asghar was located. The killing allegedly occurred as a result of precision strike by Indian Air Force. The strikes were aimed at terror camps, terror infrastructure. According to CBI dossier, Abdul Rauf was the son of Allah Bakhsh Sabir Albi. He was resident of 6B 1260/108 Kaushar Colony, Model Town in Bahawalpur, Pakistan, and house number 241 Gulshan Iqbal, plot number 2, Karachi, Pakistan, and flat number 4, Daddy Mansion, Sadar, Regal Chowk, Karachi, Pakistan. Then comes the Yusuf Azhar, who was killed in Operation Sindoor again. Yusuf Azhar, resident of 6BLB, resident of 6B 1260/108 Kaushar Colony, Model Town, District Bahawalpur, Pakistan. House number 241, Gulshan Iqbal, plot number 2, Karachi, Pakistan, and flat number 4, Daddy Mansion, Sadar, Regal Chowk, Karachi, Pakistan. Then these, they share the addresses. Just to sum up, Pakistan's intelligence agency ISI was a primary backer of Taliban in Afghanistan through the 1990s. The Taliban gave sanctuary to Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, from where 9/11 was planted. United States report, including the 9/11 Commission report, confirm Pakistan's ISI had deep links with Taliban leaders. Umar Saeed Sheikh and the 9/11 money trail, everyone knows. Umar Saeed Sheikh, released in IC-814 swap, is widely reported to have wired $1 lakh to Mohammad Atta, the 9/11 main leader, the ringleader. Some report of different newspapers, including the Wall Street Journal, Indian intelligence in United States court filings, this was done at the behest of the then ISI Chief Lieutenant General Mahmood Atta. The 9/11 Commission report mentions this money trail, but stops short of directly blaming ISI leadership. Pakistani nationals in Al-Qaeda captured post 9/11, for example, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the 9/11 mastermind, were arrested in Pakistan. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was captured in Rawalpindi in 2003, showing Pakistan was a hub for Al-Qaeda leadership. ISI's direct role was established. Multiple media and intelligence leaks suggested some rogue ISI elements may have had prior knowledge or indirect support for Al-Qaeda's activities. But no smoking gun has been produced to show the Pakistan state officially helped plan 9/11, because these are the black ops. The agency, Pakistani ISI, they do not reveal. They keep it highly guarded secret. Lieutenant General Mahmood Ahmad, ISI chief in 2001, reportedly forced to resign after US pressure when the Umar Saeed Sheikh, who wire transferred $1 lakh, that link surfaced. Pakistan never admitted wrongdoing, and United States kept this angle low profile to maintain Pakistan as an ally in the war on terror. What IC-814 revealed actually, the hijack was carried out by Pakistani terrorists linked to Harkatul Mujahideen with backing from the ISI. India publicly warned that these release of Masood Azhar, Umar Saeed Sheikh and Mushtaq Ahmad Zarqa would strengthen global jihadist networks. Umar Saeed Sheikh was known even then to have studied in the UK, recruited Western educated youth, and had links to Al-Qaeda circles. Missed opportunities by the United States and the West. That's a fact. At that point of time, the United States largely saw IC-814 hijack as an India-Pakistan dispute, not part of the wider Al-Qaeda threat. After the swap, Maulana Masood Azhar founded Jaish-e-Mohammed, which aligned with Al-Qaeda and Taliban. Umar Saeed Sheikh went on to funnel money to Mohammad Atta, who was the lead 9/11 hijacker, play a major role in jihadi networks, be involved in the later kidnapping of Daniel Pearl in 2002. If the United States had pushed for a joint investigation after IC-814 tracing Umar Saeed's financial networks, Masood Azhar's rise in Afghanistan connections, ISI's role in sheltering and directing jihadis, they could have uncovered some of the money trails and safe havens that became central to 9/11 conspiracy. Why it did happen? In 1999 to 2000, the United States was focusing on Osama bin Laden, but saw Pakistan as an essential ally, as the same is being repeated now. Washington was reluctant to directly confront ISI, fearing destabilization of Pakistan. Terror attacks in India were treated as regional terrorism, not as part of the global jihadist threat. Could 9/11 have been averted? Possibly, if not guaranteed. If Omar Saeed Sheikh had been traced or tracked after IC-814 hijack, the money transfer to Mohammad Atta nearly at that point of time in early 2001 might have been intercepted. If Masood Azhar's Jaish-e-Mohammed had been shut down early in Al-Qaeda, Taliban Jaish-e-Mohammed collaboration would have been weakened. At minimum, stronger intelligence sharing between India and the United States could have raised red flags earlier. So now Mr. Trump, who is the President of the United States, the 45th and the 47th, should understand what is the role of Pakistan and Pakistan's intelligence agency ISI in 9/11 attack on America. So who he is supporting too? India is a very strong partner of United States in Indo-Pacific, very reliable partner. Mr. Trump has to think of, and this is very important to understand. I told the story of 2001 9/11 attack so that the new generation, they understand, the new Americans, the brilliant, the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha, they should understand what happened to their nation, who was the enemy of America, who was hand in gloves with the enemy of America, where the accused, where the culprits of 9/11 attacks were arrested or killed. Mr. Trump has to understand that India is such a great, reliable partner. So I hope this live session is important. You could have got the crux of it. It's an old story which I tried to revive so that one must understand what is happening today after nearly 24 years of the attack. Thanks for watching National